drop that heat.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Boruto episode review. Today we're doing episode 74 and actually episode 75 as well, because this week for whatever reason we got two episodes, episode 74 and 75 like I just said. Now the main reason why I think that's the case is because of the fact that they're actually moving the Boruto time slot from Thursday to Sunday on the weekends now. It used to be Wednesday, then it changed to Thursday, and now it's changing to Sunday. And most of that is due to a whole bunch of like corporal like one of their like side like partnerships, like one of the like side like animation studios that was working with Studio Peria apparently went bankrupt, and now they can't they can't work with Studio Peria anymore, so I guess they're dealing with that. I'm not really sure what the whole reasoning it was for having two episodes this week, but they are moving the time slot for Boruto. It's going to be on Sundays now, so expect to see a couple more videos out on the weekend, most likely, in terms of anime reviews. But regardless, we're here to talk about episodes 74 and 75, and I'm going to be doing episode 74, and then eventually I'm actually going to do a cut because I haven't seen episode 75 yet. I wanted to record this first part of the video before anything else. But regardless, not a whole lot seemed to kind of happen in episode 74 to kind of begin with. I'm kind of just rambling on, especially in the beginning, especially because I'm doing something different in the beginning of my videos now, which is to have an intro, which I guess I feel like some YouTubers should have. But the episode starts off kind of how we thought it was going to. Shikadai, Team 10, Shikadai, Chocho, Inojin, and Moegi, they show up and they're trying to, stop Boruto and Sawada from trying to save, or trying to, go after Mitsuki, because so far, the information that they have is that Mitsuki is a potential traitor, and he betrayed, he betrayed the Leaf Village, and now he's gonna, be giving some secret information about the Leaf Village to whoever he's with because of what they did see and what they did figure out. Spoiler alert, later on in the episode, Shikadai, Chocho, and Inojin eventually start following Boruto and Sawada because something happens, and we'll get to that. But the whole entirety of the episode is mainly action, but there are slow parts of the episode, like the beginning of the episode. After the opening, at least. After the opening, it's a little slow at first, and then it starts getting into fighting. Because Shikadai is talking to Boruto. Shikadai is saying, you're being irrational, you're going after Mitsuki because whatever reason, because he's your friend. We get that you're worried, but you need to think things through. This could be a potential dangerous situation. You don't know what you're getting your hands into. But at the same time, Shikadai doesn't know much about what's going on through Boruto's mind, because last week Boruto, just found out a whole bunch of information about his friend that he didn't even realize before, and so now he's just trying to, basically get, some things that he has on his mind confirmed by Mitsuki himself. He's wondering what the hell is actually going on through Mitsuki's mind. So, Shikadai and Boruto have a little bit of kind of a verbal abuse towards each other. I say that jokingly, of course, but they're kind of talking back and forth, and eventually it starts getting into more of a scuffle, and I found this part really weird because Moegi goes after Sawada, and Sawada's like, okay, Moegi's a fucking Jonin. I need to activate my Sharingan. She's able to dodge one attack, and then Moegi's like, oh, I'm not a Jonin for nothing. And I'm like, yeah, but you still kind of suck. And then the Ina Shikacho trio decide to fucking go after Boruto all at once, and then Boruto and Sawada, they get trapped, and then eventually they get out of what the situation they were in, and they run away. But I actually kind of like this part of the episode because finally we see a little bit more of what Inojin can do, in the sense of the type of Super Beast scroll jutsu he can do. Like, he just recently learned from his dad, Sai. I don't know why I said Ino, but whatever. Sai. He learned a sealing jutsu from Sai of the Super Beast scroll, and Boruto couldn't get out of it. He straight up just could not get out of it. And then he actually decides to be fucking smart for once and starts using the fucking Vanishing Rasengan. This is the only time he uses it in the fucking episode, but he still used it regardless, and it was kind of fucking cool. Sarada does throws like a little like light fucking grenade, like something, some kind of like flashbang or whatever, right? To kind of stun Chocho and get away, right? Eventually, it goes into Shikamaru and Tamari is like delivering food for him, but then she's like pissed off at Shikamaru because she's like, "Oh, why did you send Shikadai, who's a friend of Boruto, to go after Boruto? That's fucking stupid. Why did you do that?" And Shikamaru basically explains like, "Oh, when time comes, Shikadai will know what to do, right?" And basically, it's a little bit more explained later on in the episode, but it's explained that Shikamaru already has kind of the idea that Mitsuki probably didn't leave for no reason. He must have had some sort of reason, right? And he's thinking that Boruto and Sarada found some sort of clue from Mitsuki, and that's why they left the village and are trying to go after him. So he sends Shikadai to go and fight Boruto in case this so happened to happen. And what do you know? After a little bit more fighting, which was admittedly like kind of interesting because the entire time Shigadai is just completely predicting what Sarada and Boruto are gonna do, which is kind of telling me that Boruto and Sarada are gonna have to come up with a different fighting like style or like strategy, because if they go up against someone like fucking Shigadai, they have no fucking chance because Shigadai is just gonna be able to predict what the hell they're actually doing. But regardless, it was pretty cool. And then obviously, Shikadai ends up figuring out like, oh, this is the reason why Boruto and Sarada left, because they found the white snake that Mitsuki had left behind with the message. And like I said earlier, the episode ends with Shikadai, Chocho, and Inojin following along with Boruto and Sarada to where the white snake sage actually is in Ryuji Cave. But before the episode actually ends, the episode kind of has a little comedic moment, and I thought it was kind of funny where Moegi reads a message that they got from Shikadai and the others saying like, "Oh, we're sorry," and then she kind of freaks out a little bit. But the reason why she was kind of like off doing like her own thing is because this is just an explanation for people who are confused. Boruto and Sarada, or rather, Boruto created two shadow clones. One of the shadow clones did a transformation jutsu, and they ran off in a different direction, whilst the real ones actually left. And obviously, we know who went after the real ones and who went after the fake ones. And then, meanwhile, as she was trying to get back to her team, she was actually stopped by some guy in a mysterious robe. End of the episode shows that it was actually Sugetsu, because he was given orders by Orochimaru saying, like, oh, apparently Orochimaru kind of already had this idea that this would happen, and he wanted to like kind of buy time for them to escape, just in case, just why not? And then he actually points out maybe he's just the doting parent, of because Mitsuki, right? Because Mitsuki is obviously the son of Orochimaru. But that's how the episode ends for episode 74. And I would talk about the previews, but we have 2 episodes in 1 week, so I could just go ahead and watch the next episode, which I'm actually going to do right now, and you're going to go ahead and see a quick clip right here. Alright, so I just got done watching episode 75 for Boruto, and to be honest, not a lot fucking happened in this episode. It's really slow, and it's hard for me to put it into words because I just got done watching it, but not a whole lot kind of happens, or at least not a lot of interesting stuff happens. So the episode starts like the way that you think it starts. It starts with them in like some fucking misty kind of fucking bullshit, and it kind of looks like they're going around in fucking circles because they see their footprints all over again, kind of like how they're going around in circles. And then they see a light off in the distance, and then they get closer and closer, and then they see it's like this temple looking place that says that it's Ryuchi Cave. Spoilers, it's not Ryuchi Cave. It's not Ryuchi Cave at all, because they go inside and they meet like one of these ladies, right? And it kind of already seemed like something fishy was gonna fucking be happening in the episode anyways, but spoilers, the lady created this mirage, I guess you can say it is, of this temple where they have food, it's a resting place, etc., etc. The food was basically there for her to poison them, so they're paralyzed and they can't move, so that way she could then eat them and absorb their chakra. Boruto is actually the one who actually figures this out and figures that it's all bullshit, because he kind of is only there for one specific reason, as we know, is to meet the white snake sage, who ends up being an old ass fucking little lady. Doesn't really do anything in this episode when we finally meet her, but Boruto is just wanting to do one objective, and the reason why they're there. There's a whole like thing for the beginning of the episode where Chojo is like really hungry and she wants to eat. Same with the Inogen, so they decide to stop. They're about to eat. The lady in context of what's going on in this scene right now mentions Mitsuki and how she says the White Snake Sage will help them, and then Boruto's like, "Wait, I didn't even fucking mention Mitsuki. How do you know we're here for Mitsuki? Whatever, right?" And so he calls her on her bullshit. Fucking lady turns into a snake looking like face, and then it all just disappears, and it turns out to be bullshit. It turns out they're going through trials, which I believe the episode is called Trials of Ryuchi Cave. Don't quote me on that. So the mirage of the temple that they see is completely disappeared, and then they continue onwards to the second trial. The second trial, Boruto is completely separated from everybody else, and they're fine. They end up being fine in the rest of the episode, and I'll actually get into that when we actually talk about it. But this part in the scene, Boruto is kind of locked in a room, and he needs to put a whole bunch of small, like gem-looking things into the wall that fit the size of certain shapes that are on this door, and it's the only way out. Eventually, he does all of them besides one, and obviously this was there to kind of stump him because normally a person would just look for a stone piece that looks like it's big enough or it's the exact same shape as it is. But Boruto, being the main character in the episode, having to go on for an additional like 10 minutes or so, figures out how to go outside of the box, and he figures out like, oh, let me take this long like stone gem looking thing, break it in half, and then I'll put the two pieces in the slot where it needs to go. That's basically it. All these trials are there specifically for those who are wanting to learn sage mode and learn sage jutsu and sage chakra or natural energy and all that stuff. So that one ends, and then immediately the next one starts. Fucking one of the other like ladies comes up behind fucking Boruto. Pause, but he comes up behind Boruto and fucking bites into the motherfucker's fucking neck, right? So he bites into Boruto's neck, and immediately his body is like getting all hot, and then he's like seeing a whole bunch of stuff that's not actually there. And then like there's a mirage of Sarada, Chocho, Inogen, and Shikadai. I was about to see Mitsuki but Shikadai, and they're all like saying like, "Oh, why are you doing this? Let's just go back home. You're selfish, yada yada yada, whatever." Right? Basically, just trying to break his heart, trying to like destroy his willpower. Spoilers. Doesn't fucking work. He actually ends up persevering, and he actually beats the trial. So he beats all three trials. There's the real Ryuchi Cave shows up. He goes inside, meets all his friends. They're all fine. For whatever reason, the three ladies who wanted to eat all their chakra didn't eat their chakra, and they were just like, oh, let's only put Boruto through the three trials instead of all of them, because why the hell not? Maybe they'll save up money for their animation studio. But that happens. They meet the lady for the White Snake Sage, little old fucking lady. And then Boruto's like, "Can you analyze the snake?" She says she can't. And then she's like, and Boruto's like, "Please, can you just do this for me?" Whatever, right? And then she's like, "Okay, I'll do it in one condition. If you go and get a reverse scale from this snake in the deeper parts of Ryuchi Cave." So they're sent off to go after this fucking snake that appears in the previews. And the funny part about this is that the snake's name is whatever the fucking stupid ass snake's name is. I don't even fucking know how to pronounce these people's fucking names besides White Snake Sage. It's fucking retarded. But the episode ends, and she's basically like, "Oh, do you think they'll actually come back alive?" So basically, she just sent them to fucking die. But they can't die because of what happens in the manga, and this is Boruto's version of Sasuke retrieval arc, but it makes no fucking sense. So maybe I'm a little fucking pissed off because I was expecting a little something interesting to happen in the episode, but it fucking didn't. So you know what? Fuck it. This episode wasn't really that great. Yeah, the last episode was better than this one. I'm moving my mic all over the fucking place, but regardless, that's the end of the episode, which means this is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, for whatever reason, leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this where sometimes I get a little ranty, subscribe if you did enjoy and you want to see more of this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.
Drop that.